Hi, I'm Mike.
And I'm Maggie, and welcome to the M&M Debrief, the podcast where Mike and Maggie discuss the top stories in politics and sports and try to make sense of the headlines. Mike, do we have any follow-ups from the last episode?
I do. I'm gonna have to retract my retraction from last week. I'm gonna have to do a flip-flop. I thought that when you talk about the desalination plants in the Gulf Coast countries, the word is desalination and not desalinization. But apparently, both pronunciations are acceptable. So,
They're both acceptable. Okay.
if you want to throw a couple extra syllables in there, desalinization will work. Otherwise, desalination also works. I just want to get the grammar portion of our podcast out of the way early. I thought I was correcting a mistake, but both are acceptable.
I love our attention to good grammar. So this is like tomato, right?
Yeah, yes, exactly. Aluminium,
Oh, that's
aluminum,
right. Aluminum.
aluminium.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and I mentioned last time about how a certain percentage of the population is in a recession and a certain percentage are not in a recession. Like, so the 1% are never in a recession, and the rest of us are in a recession about whether the economy is working for people or not. It made me think of a video I saw about 10 years ago. It was on CNBC, the paragon of capitalism here, and they were interviewing this fellow named Asher Edelman, who was one of the models for Gordon Gekko in Wall Street when Oliver Stone was writing. And
Greed is good, right, hon?
The greed is good guy. And so he was on CNBC talking about the election. This is before Donald Trump got elected the first time, and this was back when the Democrats were fighting it through. And they asked him, "Hey, who's your favorite candidate? Who do you like the best?" And he immediately says Bernie Sanders. And they're all shocked. They what? Here you are, this capitalist, this trader, this Gordon Gekko guy, and you want Bernie Sanders? And he basically said the same thing I did. Half the country's always been in a recession for 20 years. And, if you're just sitting here in your ivory tower and you're looking at the stock market and all this, you're fooling yourself. And Bernie Sanders was the only one talking about any of these income inequality issues. And this is 10 years ago in 2016. So if you want to look it up, it's Asher Edelman on CNN. It's just about 2 minutes. It's very short, and it's kind of funny to watch the reaction on these guys' faces. Like, you want Bernie? you want Bernie Sanders? What the hell? So even rich corporate raiders are savvy. They know some of them know the deal. Anyway, and then I mentioned Taco Bell had a special $1 for it's the enchilado,
Not the tacorito, the enchilado.
It's the enchilado. They were giving it for $1. This was last Tuesday, but you had to order it with no lettuce, so you wouldn't get the parasite and stuff. So maybe pay attention. Maybe they might have some more specials. You might be able to get a cheap lunch at Taco Bell. And then something that just came up yesterday. Pete Buttigieg has been cleared. And remember a few episodes ago, a couple months ago, somebody called Child Protective Services on him. Well, they caught the person, some crazy chick who
they did catch them
in Indiana. I don't know if she's Indiana or somewhere, but she was very much against gay people being parents, and and they're working through what happened. But you would have thought, why didn't they check before? They just ran out, terrorized this Buttigieg and his partner and their children. You'd think hey, police would, well, never mind. You'd think they'd think twice here and check things a little bit before they did this. But
well, yeah, but then if there really was a problem, you'd say, why didn't they race out there and address it? But there's some sort of in between where there's an understanding of, we actually haven't verified that this person is actually sane.
Yeah, they're looking into it, but my God, what do we
as I said before, the trauma to these children is the crime. and I hope this person is properly punished.
I hope they get. I'm not a fan of suing, but I hope they sue. Make this woman pay. I don't know. So
put them in jail.
There's something, right. False alarm, or I don't know, whatever. But
yeah, pay for the kid college education, maybe.
Yes. Okay. Let's go to the New World Order / Foreign Desk / International War Department here. This used to be the Iranian War, and now it's appearing like it's the Ukrainian War.
Expanding.
It's expanding. I think you were pretty prescient. Was it 2 episodes ago, honey?
Well,
where
that's what they say.
Where you said, "Hey, are these wars coming together?" And I think these wars are coming together. I think we've had 2 regional wars, and they're starting to turn into one big
huge war.
World War.
But if you listen to Trump, everything's fine. Everything's great. Costs are down.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine. They're begging to come to the table.
They're begging him. Yeah. No, they're not.
So after a few months of being quiet, apparently Ukraine is now the center of the world. They attacked a Russian ship going to Iran with military supplies, but the Iranians are saying, "Hey, if you do that again, there might be trouble here." So, and it looks like everything is all of a sudden starting to go through Ukraine. They're just dominating on Russia. They're starting to get cocky with with Iran, and so we'll see. But still, most of the action is in Iran. There's been it's like a de-escalation here. We cranked it up for about 12, 13 days. And now we have backed down a little bit, partially because we're running out of ammunition. Partially,
I was going to say it's because we're running out of ammunition. We can't keep that up.
Yeah, partially because we're running out of our strategic petroleum reserve is running out. The Gulf Coast countries are saying stop. So, I mean, he's still kind of doing the rope-a-dope strategy. And I am more convinced than ever that Iran wants to drag this out as long as it can. It wants to screw up the American economy as much as possible, at least through November, at least through to the midterms. So we're about to flip over into August. We'll be about 3 months out from the midterms. So we will see what actually happens with gas and diesel and all that. I think, by all accounts, we're kind of at the end here where things will start to go up, prices will start to go up.
Mm-hmm. So the Iranians are just smart. They're smarter than Trump. They know darn well that time is not in Trump's favor, and the more that they can draw this out.
Yep.
And the more that they can cause the prices to go up for gas at the gas pump, the more trouble they can cause Trump, the more impotent he's going to be come November, because he's going to lose both the House and the Senate, and then he's not going to be a problem anymore. Then he's going to go away.
One would think.
Yeah. I mean, that's the likelihood. Because really, this is a war driven by nobody else except Trump and Netanyahu.
Right.
And if Trump is defeated in November, Iran is doing good.
Yeah, I agree. They were in tough shape there. They had thousands of people protesting the government, and then all you got to do is attack them, and now they're all solid and they're ready to roll. Which
they turn lemons into lemonade.
They turn lemons into lemonade.
They're going to end up so much stronger because of the ineptitude of our president. So
yeah, I'm hearing a new term, PFM. This is our government is engaging in PFM thinking, which stands for pure fucking magic. They're just praying or hoping that some sort of magic shit happens. The way that the propaganda is supposed to treat everybody, and I don't know. They're just I don't know. We can't say it. We can't keep saying it over and over again. Just how fucking incompetent we are, and how we're getting screwed here. But we shall
Well,
see.
it's not just incompetence, obviously, it's the complicity and the ineptitude of those around him who in
Mhm,
normal circumstances would stand up and say, "No, you shouldn't do that."
mhm,
But they don't. So
mhm,
it's both. Yeah.
mhm. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised
It's
it's
a
taken.
cluster.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of surprised it's taken this long for this shit to hit here. We're at the end of July. I think some prices are going to be heading up here soon. So.
Right. I mean, as you say, are they still taking gas out of the petroleum oil reserves to
Yeah, I'll on our next
delay?
episode. Next episode, I'll get you a status on the update of that.
All
Just
right.
to remind everybody, our strategic petroleum reserve is being drained down by the day, and it is in some salt mine caverns. I don't know exactly where they are, but there's a structural. They're not tanks sitting around. They're in a natural cave that's full of salts, and you have to pump in water to kind of push the oil up because I guess oil is lighter than water, I
Good
guess. So
Lord.
so the
Yeah.
and then guess what? You've got salt water, and you got water pumped into a salt mine, and all of a sudden the structural thing is going to collapse. So you can only get so much out of this thing. This was set up in the 70s, and it was only supposed to last 25 years. And guess what? Here we are, 50 whatever years later, and we're still using the same shit. And we're
Wow.
we're gonna we're gonna probably gonna lose about 100 million barrels because structurally it's gonna collapse.
Oh, good Lord.
Or
Okay.
or we can get it out, but then we won't. It'll collapse, and we won't be able to put it back in. So that's a whole nother thing. So it's a whole nother thing.
Trump destroys. The Mad King destroys, doesn't it?
It's just amazing that what this guy is screwing up. Let
Yeah.
me see here. So we've got the Gulf Coast countries are now meeting with Iran, and they're basically coming to the realization that they're going to control the Strait of Hormuz and the Bab el Mandeb Strait, and there's going to be a fee. If you're going to go through, there's going to be a fee. Maybe some countries will get better treatment, like China will probably be able to go through it for free, but everybody else has to pay a little bit. And
And that is actually illegal per the United Nations, I understand. You
well,
can't do that. It's in international waters.
yeah, well, we should do like a mini deep dive on this because I don't think it's international waters because the
I
Strait of
know,
Hormuz
but
is only
that's the
well the freedom of navigation. Yeah, I understand the freedom of navigation. But
United
this is
Nations basically, I thought, said that that is absolutely that particular Strait
what.
of Hormuz is not. But
Oh,
anyway, it's
okay.
okay. We'll look into it.
Can you look into it? Can you get back to me? Because just based on the math, that is not international waters because the Iranian waterway overlaps with the Omanian water, so it's private there. So I don't know if the United Nations has said that specifically about that spot.
I'll get the
And if it's
deets for you, hun.
okay, and then if it's not, and also look up the Bab el Mandeb Strait because that's even tighter. That one's even tighter. I don't know who's
Alrighty.
on the other side of Yemen. Africa. Some country in Africa is on the other side of the Bab el Mandeb. Echeria, whatever country that is there. So yeah,
Okay.
I would. I'm interested in that. Can you get back to me on that?
I'll get
Sorry,
back to you on that, hun. Sure.
sorry,
I'll have
sorry.
my
Forgive.
people get back to your people.
Hey, can your people research that and get back to my people
Mm-hmm.
on that one? All right.
Sure.
Oh, by the way, just today is Lindsey Graham's funeral, and
Yeah.
Iran decided to bomb Jordan again during the funeral. So they're getting kind of savvy, and they might have got a couple more of our a few more of our soldiers. So
Mm.
Iran's kind of getting, I don't know, savvy, like similar to what Israel does, where they bomb people while they're at a
Yeah.
negotiation and that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah. Anytime they can stick it to Trump, they will.
They will, yeah. So they decided to bomb Jordan during the funeral. So,
Mm.
let me see here. Oh, one thing I wanted to point out. I think I forgot to mention this, but when the Iranians have switched over to using a different GPS system. So we've got the normal American GPS, and when we started the war, they were used to guide their missiles and their drones. They were using the regular GPS, American GPS. Well, it took America a hot minute to start jamming these signals and spoofing some of the coordinates.
Oh.
You can spoof the coordinates and get the drone to go somewhere else that you don't want to if you have control at that level. So one of the reasons the Iranians are having so much luck is because they switched over to the Chinese GPS. So I don't know if you know this, but there's numerous GPS systems up there. There's the American that we all know, and the Chinese have one called Beidou, Beidou, Beidou 3, and they are much better. They have 32 satellites maybe, and they're much more refined. There's Europe also has one. I think it's called Galileo. And I think Russia has their own set of GPS satellites also. But so they switched over to start using the Iranian GPS, and that's why they're able to get a lot more success with their bombing, because they're not being jammed by America anymore. So, I just we hadn't talked about it, but I just wanted to bring it up for a minute to give our listeners a reason why things are working much better for the Iranians lately. And then over in Europe, speaking of Ukraine, the latest hit. This is going to be, I don't know if this might be indicative of our times, honey, but this might have been a week ago. Ukraine clobbered something called Wildberries. I don't know if you've heard of this. This is like the Amazon of Russia. It's this place called Wildberries, and they've got massive warehouses of goods and stuff. And Ukraine hit 2 or 3 of these warehouses and totally demolished them. It's like basically cutting off Amazon. Let's say, imagine you couldn't order something from Amazon or eBay or something tomorrow because the warehouses were wasted. And apparently that has triggered some enormous negative backlash with the public. Forget about the 50% of your oil refining capabilities. Forget about 1,000 soldiers a day dying when they go after the Wildberries, and you can't order a new shoes. You've gone too far.
Oh my gosh.
So for those of you out there want to look into it, it's called Wildberries. It's essentially, I don't know what the Russian word for wildberry is, but it's basically the Amazon of Russia, and they wasted a few of their warehouses, and people can't order shit anymore. So, and that has fired some folks up. And then I guess the only other thing in Europe is these massive wildfires. You got the Canadian wildfires, and now apparently half of Europe is on fire too.
Because they've gone through that heat wave.
Yeah, and it's like the French and Spanish border. There's some fires over in Italy. There's basically France and Spain, and then over in Italy and a few other spots. But massive wildfires in Europe. We've got wildfires in Canada. Thankfully, we don't have any we've had some small fires this year, but we had some wildfires the last couple of years, but we're doing okay.
Right. Okay.
Otherwise, that's all I got on Europe. You got anything else?
No, I do not. I'm ready for domestic.
Are you?
I am.
Are you domesticated there, honey?
Not in that way. No, I want to hear about the domestic issues now.
Okay. I'm more into the war, so I only got a few domestic things. But apparently, New Jersey has determined that a few thousand non-citizens voted in.
Wow.
In the
Damn it!
I don't know if
there
it's
was
the
going to be
last
that
election.
One group that
there's going to be.
Trump say, "See, I told you so."
Yeah. Exactly. So you got one state.
I told you so.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, it would take like several million votes for Trump to win New Jersey.
Well, exactly. It made no difference.
It's 6,000, but on the good side here, they came out and said they found some non-citizens voting. I think I saw 6,000 maybe.
Wow.
So of course Fox News and all them will make hay out of this, and it's a blue state.
They would.
They would.
Well,
They would.
yeah, it's a blue state, and number 2, they found it themselves.
Yep.
This is part of the general good management and good government.
Mhm.
People don't give enough credit to the term good government. Everybody's talking about
Mhm.
the size of government. It's either too big or too small, whatever.
Mhm.
Good government is a blessing, frankly. Good government, whatever size it is, good government is an important thing. And one thing that Trump does not do is govern. He does
Mhm.
not govern. He fights wars.
Mhm.
He ignores high prices, doesn't do anything about it. He does the opposite of what's good for us. He doesn't govern in a responsible way. So, anyway, good for New Jersey for finding those 6,600 people who were
Mhm.
non-citizens who voted and taking them off the rolls and governing as they should.
Yes, as they should.
Boom.
Let me see. We've got the White House Correspondents' dinner, which was rescheduled, and then Trump basically insulted the
Yeah,
journalists
nobody
for
laughed at his jokes. He was not a funny guy.
total silence. Yeah, you gotta you gotta have some self-deprecation to kind of be a funny guy, and
Right.
he's just
And
he may
and
be
and when he tried to be
charming at points, but
self-deprecating, it just sounded more like a threat. I mean, it was embarrassing.
yeah,
I can see
yeah.
why he has no friends.
Yes. So, and I know we are all looking forward to that being scheduled there. So,
Mm. Well, in truth,
let
honey,
me.
just take a quick moment though. I've heard a lot about debate about whether journalists should actually have gone to that. I mean, generally, the New York Times does not go now. And I think there was a lot of talk. I think you mentioned it about, oh, sorry, I just forgot her name from NBC.
Caitlin Collins.
No, that's a CNN. It
Oh,
was the
Christian Welker. Kristen
Christian
Welker.
Welker. Thank you, Kristen
Kristen
Welker.
Welker.
And how she was, joking and laughing it up with Steve Miller, who's a cretin and racist,
Yeah.
and who probably looks at her and thinks she should go back home, to her
Yep.
home country. So, I just think that given the unique situation we're in today with an authoritarian person who's trying to intimidate and prosecute the media, I'm really surprised that people showed up for the correspondents' dinner.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't get it either. I mean, you think you'd have some self-respect at some point, but I think this will probably be the last one until we can get some normalcy back. I don't think they'll have this
Mm.
anymore. Let me see. I'd also heard the Paramount merger with Discovery and what is it?
Buying Warner Brothers?
Time Warner. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
thank
Warner
God.
Brothers and yeah, Discover or
Fingers
whatever it is.
crossed.
It's may not go through. There's some legal hurdles and whatnot.
That's a good thing.
So we'll see how it goes. I'd always
Yep.
bet on the corporation. I always bet on the rich person. So I would think it's probably going to go through, but
Well, hopefully
maybe
not. Was it it's still the
may-
15 states attorneys
maybe
who
some
are
changes
suing?
will happen. So
Yeah, it's going to kill the media.
yep. And I guess the last thing I got here is the Fauci diaries.
Mhm.
Apparently, I think Anthony Fauci made a lot of personal notes on his government computer about what he thought about what was happening during COVID, and I guess they found it. I don't know, maybe Fauci's publishing a book, but a lot of personal diary notes from Anthony Fauci are starting to come out into the news, and I think they got it off his government computer. I think he was doing it on his government computer just mistakenly.
Well, that'll teach
We'll have
everybody,
to
if you're gonna write a diary about what you're doing
yeah,
at work, don't
and
put it on a work
do it
device.
on your do it on your personal computers, yes,
Maybe
or
paper and
actually
pen.
use
Just a thought.
pen and ink. Anyway, he's going to be testifying. It's going to be pretty brutal next week about Rand Paul is all over him on gain of function. I think it's pretty well accepted that the Wuhan lab was the source of the COVID virus. It's basically came out of that Wuhan lab either on purpose or not. It's yet to be determined. And that's when you hear gain of function, the U.S. probably gave them some of these viruses, and they were working on what's called gain of function capability, which can you take a virus and make it worse, basically.
Good Christ.
So on one hand, scientists talking to each other, you'd think they would not want to do this kind of thing, but that's what Rand Paul is pissed about. He thinks that Fauci was involved with this, and then it got into the lab and then got out either on purpose or not, and screwed up the world for 4 years or whatever it was. So,
Good times.
Good times, good times. So that's all I got, hon. Might be a short episode today.
Oh, a few minutes short, but still a lot of good info there, honey. Well,
Mm-hmm.
great. Thanks everybody for joining us. As always, we are on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube, and please share, follow, or subscribe.
Thank you for listening to episode 29.
29. Goodbye.